The arrival of the princess. It was a stormy night in the village. Thunder rolled across the sky, and lightning flashed over the hills. Most of the villagers had gone inside, hiding from the rain and the wind, but then a sound came, loud and strange. Unlike thunder or storm, it was the sound of something breaking through the clouds. A glowing ship, burning with blue fire, tore across the dark sky and crashed into the meadow beyond the stables. The ground shook, the horses in the stables kicked wildly, and dogs barked in fear. People rushed outside, holding lanterns high, their voices shouting questions. What was that? Is it the end of the world? Did a star fall from the sky? Together they hurried toward the meadow, where smoke rose and the air shimmered with strange colors. In the center of the crash, half buried in mud and grass, lay a silver ship, glowing faintly like moonlight. The villagers stood frozen, afraid to move closer, but one brave man stepped forward, pulling his cloak tighter against the wind. The ship's side hissed, steam pouring out as a door opened. Everyone gasped as a figure stepped out, stumbling, weak, yet glowing in the lantern light. It was not a man, nor a creature they had ever seen. It was a young girl, her skin shimmering like glass touched by starlight, her eyes glowing soft blue like fireflies. She fell to her knees, trembling, her long hair spilling across her shoulders like silver threads. The villagers whispered in awe, "An angel, no, a demon, a child from the stars." One woman ran forward, carrying a bucket of water. "She must be hurt," the woman cried. "Water will help her. It always helps the weak." She lifted the bucket high, ready to splash it across the strange girl's face. But then the girl raised her hands in terror, her voice breaking with fear. "No, please, don't throw water on me," she begged, her words clear though her accent was strange. Her body shook violently, her glowing eyes wide with panic. The villagers froze in shock, confused. "Why not?" Someone muttered. "It's just water. It gives life." But the girl's voice trembled again. "Water will burn me. Please, don't." The bucket stopped midair, water dripping from the edge. The villagers gasped, whispering louder now. "Burn her. What does she mean? Is she cursed?" The girl shook her head quickly, struggling to breathe. "No curse, no lie," she whispered. "Water is death to me. Please, believe me." The villagers looked at each other with doubt and fear. Some stepped back, crossing themselves, muttering that she was dangerous. Others leaned closer, curiosity in their eyes. One boy, younger than the rest, walked slowly to her side. He held out his hand, palm open, showing he carried no weapon. "Don't be afraid," he said softly. "We won't hurt you." The princess, for that was what she was, though no one yet knew, looked at the boy. Her glowing eyes softened, and she reached out with shaking fingers, touching his hand lightly. Her skin was warm, almost too warm, and her touch sent a strange hum through the air. The boy nodded, whispering, "See, no water, only trust." She gave him the faintest smile, though fear still trembled on her lips. The villagers stood in silence, the storm still rumbling above. The girl's ship flickered with dim light behind her, as though it too were dying. She swayed on her feet, then collapsed into the boy's arms, exhausted. "Quick," someone shouted, "bring her into the barn." And so they carried her, still glowing faintly, into the safety of the stables, away from the rain. As they laid her on the hay, the boy watched her carefully. Her skin shimmered, with every breath, her chest rising slowly. He could not forget her words, her desperate voice crying out, "Don't throw water on me." What kind of being feared water? What secret truth lay hidden behind her glowing eyes? The villagers whispered in fear, but the boy whispered in wonder. And thus began the night when an alien princess arrived, fragile, radiant, and begging for the simplest thing. "Don't throw water on me." The hidden truth. The barn was quiet, except for the sound of rain tapping on the roof. Lanterns glowed softly, casting long shadows over the hay, the wooden beams, and the strange girl lying weakly on the straw. The villagers stood around her in a circle, whispering in fear and wonder. Some wanted to help her, others wanted to send her away, but no one dared to pour water near her again. The boy who had first reached out to her knelt by her side. His name was Tomas, the son of a farmer, often ignored like Arik in another tale. He held her hand carefully, feeling the warmth still humming from her skin. The princess opened her eyes slowly. Their glow softer now. Her voice came weak, trembling, but clear. "Thank you for not hurting me." Tomas leaned closer. "Why are you afraid of water?" he asked gently. The girl's eyes flickered with sadness, and she turned her gaze to the lantern light. "On her planet," she explained, "water was not life, but death. It burned their skin like fire. It scarred them like acid. Her people had built great cities under dry skies, their lives bound to crystals of light and winds of power. But they could never touch water, never drink it, never let it fall upon them. The villagers gasped, shaking their heads. That's impossible, one man muttered. All living things need water, but the girl shook her head weakly. Not us, not my kind. Her voice carried truth, and though some still doubted, many could see the fear in her eyes. She looked at Tomas again, her voice trembling. If the rain had touched me, I would not be alive. The storm outside grew louder, thunder shaking the barn walls. Some villagers stepped back nervously. We should not keep her here, one whispered. She brings danger, others argued. She is only a child. She needs help. The debate grew heated, voices rising, suspicion mixing with fear. The princess pressed her hands over her ears, trembling at the noise. Tomas stood, facing the crowd. She is not a threat, he said firmly. She begged us not to hurt her, and she trusts us. But an older man glared at him. How do you know she is not lying? Maybe she is tricking us. Another woman nodded. Maybe she is cursed. Maybe the water would reveal her true form. The whispers turned sharp, but Tomas refused to step away. The girl sat up slowly, her silver hair falling across her shoulders. Her voice rose, not in anger but in pleading. No trick, no curse. I swear to you, I beg you to believe me. Her eyes glowed brighter, shimmering with tears that were not water but light. I am a princess of my people, and I escaped because others wanted me destroyed. If they find me, they will kill me, and anyone who helps me. The villagers fell silent, their fear deepening. If what she said was true, then more than just storms threatened their village. Someone asked in a trembling voice, "Who is hunting you?" The girl lowered her head, whispering, "Hunters, from the stars. They will not stop." Outside, lightning split the sky, and for a brief moment strange shadows passed across the clouds, shapes that did not belong to storms, shapes that looked like ships. The villagers gasped, some dropping to their knees in prayer. "They are already searching," the girl whispered, her body shaking. "Please, do not let them find me." Tomas clenched his fists, his young face set with determination. "You are safe here," he told her. "I will protect you." The villagers looked at him in shock, some angry, some moved, but the boy's words carried a strength far greater than his age. The princess looked at him, hope flickering in her glowing eyes. The barn grew quiet again, the sound of rain heavy on the roof. The villagers whispered, debating in hushed voices. Was it worth the risk to protect this alien girl? Could they fight hunters from the stars if they came? Yet none could forget the way she had begged, the terror in her voice when she cried, "Don't throw water on me." As the night grew darker, the villagers left one by one, leaving only Tomas to sit by her side. He watched her breathe, watched her glow soften like moonlight. Outside, thunder rolled again, and high above, strange lights flickered in the clouds. Danger was coming, and soon the village would have to choose. Would they protect the alien princess who feared water, or would they give her up to save themselves? The choice between worlds. The night grew heavier, the rain falling harder on the village roofs. The barn where the alien princess lay felt like a fragile shield against the storm. Tomas sat beside her, his lantern flickering low, while outside, the villagers gathered again. Their voices were tense, filled with fear. "She brings danger," one man hissed. "If hunters come, they will burn our homes." But another woman whispered, "She is only a girl. How can we hand her over?" The princess stirred in the hay, her silver hair catching the lantern glow. Her eyes flickered open, shimmering with both fear and sadness. "They are close," she whispered, her voice trembling. "I can feel them." Tomas leaned closer. "The hunters." She nodded weakly. "Yes, they follow me across the stars. They will not stop until I am gone." The villagers argued louder, the storm outside hiding their fear. Some demanded she be surrendered, others begged for mercy. Tomas stood in front of her, his small frame shaking but his voice strong. "She trusted us," he said. "She begged us for help. Are we now to throw her away like nothing?" But the older man who had doubted her before shouted, "And what of our children? What of our families? Should they die for this alien?" Before more words could be spoken, the sky ripped open with light. Flashes brighter than lightning cut through the clouds. From above, ships descended silently, black shapes glowing with red lights. The villagers cried out, some running to hide, others standing frozen in terror. The hunters had come. The barn doors shook as shadows passed across them. The princess clutched Tomas's arm, her glowing eyes wide with fear. They will demand me, she whispered. If you refuse, they will destroy you. Her voice broke with guilt. I should not have come. I brought death to your door. But Tomas shook his head, his eyes blazing. You did not choose to be hunted, and we will not let them take you. The barn doors burst open, and figures stepped inside, tall, armored, their helmets glowing red, their voices cold. Hand over the fugitive, one commanded. She belongs to us. The villagers backed away, trembling, but Tomas stood firm. She belongs to no one, he shouted, his voice breaking the silence. The hunters moved closer, their weapons gleaming. The princess shrank back, her body glowing faintly. Rain poured harder outside, dripping through the roof, threatening to fall on her. She trembled violently, whispering again, "Don't throw water on me. Don't let it touch me." Tomas grabbed an old cloak, holding it above her like a shield, protecting her from every drop. The hunters sneered at the sight. Foolish humans, do you think you can stop us? But the villagers, inspired by Tomas's courage, stepped forward one by one. Farmers, blacksmiths, mothers, even the old man who once doubted. They formed a wall between the hunters and the girl, their hands gripping tools, axes, and torches. No, they said together, you will not take her. For the first time, the hunters hesitated. They were powerful, but they saw the fire in the humans' eyes. This was no weak village. This was a people willing to die for one who was not even their own. The leader growled, but finally raised his hand. Then you protect her, at your peril, he hissed, and with a flash of light, the hunters withdrew, their ships vanishing into the stormy sky. Silence filled the barn, broken only by the heavy rain. The villagers lowered their tools, their hearts still pounding. The princess looked at them with glowing tears of light. You risked everything, for me, she whispered. Why? The old man, who once doubted, answered softly, because you begged us not with power, but with fear and trust, and no human could turn from that. The princess smiled faintly, though sadness filled her eyes. I cannot stay, she said. They will return, and next time, they will not leave. She rose slowly, her glowing form shimmering brighter than before. From her hand, she pulled a crystal, glowing blue like a captured star. She pressed it into Tomas's palm, whispering, you shielded me from water. You shielded me from death. Take this as my bond. Tomas held it tightly, feeling its warmth hum like a heartbeat. The princess stepped toward the barn doors, her silver hair shining in the lantern. Light, goodbye, she said softly, and thank you for teaching me trust. And then she walked into the storm, her glowing form fading into the night. The villagers stood in silence, their eyes fixed on the boy who still held the crystal. From that night onward, they would never forget the girl from the stars. And Tomas would never forget the moment an alien princess begged the strangest, simplest thing, don't throw water on me.